Let's discuss different forms of lines. Alright, now around 7 forms are there, in which some of them are very, very important and some of them are very, it's not so important. Plus, some of them you guys already know what it is. Okay, now we'll start with very simple ones. That is, what will be the equation of a line if the line is horizontal or vertical? Okay, and also we can look into the slopes of those particular lines. Fair enough. Now we'll start with a very simple one. Suppose, say, look at this, we have x-axis and y-axis. Okay, now here let's assume that we are going to have a line something like this. See, it is a line which is parallel to y-axis. That means what we can say, that what we have right now, this is a vertical line. Correct? It's a vertical line. Now the equation of such a line is going to be x is equal to h. When we have x is equal to h, this point on the x-axis is going to become h comma 0. That's the point, h comma 0. So the equation of this one is going to become x is equal to h. Now let's look at the slope of this particular line. Here the angle is 90 degree, correct? So slope m is not defined. M is not defined because you are going to get tan 90. Clear? So this is one of the case. That means we are looking at a vertical line. Now another type of line what we can think of is a horizontal line. Okay, so whenever we think of horizontal line, the slope will become 0, correct? So let's look at it. See the horizontal line. So what you're going to have is you're going to have a line something like this. Okay, something like this. See, it could be above, it could be below, wherever it is. But here what we are looking at is we are looking at a horizontal line. Okay, so there's a horizontal line. Now the equation of such a line, a horizontal line, is going to be y is equal to k. Now remember, x is equal to h is one line, y is equal to k is another line, correct? Both h and k are real numbers. Whatever it you can take, but they are real numbers. Now here, for the horizontal line, the equation is y is equal to k. That means here, the point where it cuts the y-axis, that is going to be 0, comma k. Fair enough? 0, comma k. Now for this one, the slope is going to be 0 because it's a line parallel to x-axis and x-axis has a slope of 0. That's why we take m is equal to 0. Clear? So this is one type of, or these are two different types of lines, a vertical line and a horizontal line. Now let's go into the next form of a line. The next type, or you can say the next way of another form of a line, this particular form is what we call as slope point form. Now guys, slope point form is one of the most important forms what we use. It's extremely important because most of the equations when you form in the questions are based on slope point form. It's very easy also. Okay, now here we are looking at slope and a point, correct? Now let's assume that we have a line. So assume that you have a line something like this. Okay, now for this particular line, let's assume that we have a slope here. Theta is the angle. Tan theta is going to give us m. Now in this, suppose say we have some point here a, which is, let's assume that it is x1 comma y1, x1 comma y1. Fair enough? Now in this case, now what we have, we need to understand what is the equation of the line with the help of the slope and we also with the help of the point, correct? Okay, now what's the formula for slope? Y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, correct? We have tan theta, which is equal to m. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Remember, this is a general formula, isn't it? Now what we'll do, we'll take another point here on the line, some random point. Let's say the random point is P, which is x comma y, some value x comma y. Now you can write m is equal to y minus y1 divided by x minus x1, correct? Slope, formula of slope. Cross multiply, what do you get if you cross multiply? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, correct? Now this is what we call as the slope point form, because if you look at this, we have the slope, m is the slope, and if you look at x1 y1, that is nothing but the point x1 comma y1, this is given to us. For example, suppose if I tell you that find the equation of a line having a slope of 3 passing through the point 5 comma 2. So here m value is 3, x1 is 5, y1 is 2. You are going to get an equation of a line. Okay, so that's why this slope point form is extremely important. Please pay attention and you need to understand how you're going to get the formula. Clear? So this is the third, you can say. Okay, the first is horizontal, vertical, then the third one is going to be slope point form. And okay, the next one is called as 2-point form. We'll look into the fourth, the next form of a line. See, in 2-point form, so this is the next form of a line. Okay, so this is 2-point form. 2-point form is actually the more general form of a slope point form. That's it. Okay, so here what we do now is that we are going to have, again, we are going to have a straight line like this. And in this, let's assume that we have 2 points, 2 known points. Okay, suppose say we have one point here, say which is A, say x2 comma y2, and say some other point here B, which is x1 comma y1. Clear? Now slope, we can calculate the slope very easily. The slope is what? M is equal to delta y by delta x. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now we already know the slope point form. Slope point form is what? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Just replace the value of m. Just replace the value of m. So what you're going to get is y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. So this is basically what we call as the 2-point form of a line. Don't you think this is the same as the slope point form? There is not much any difference. That's why, generally speaking, we don't use the 2-point form. We use the slope point form. The reason is it's easier for us to do the calculation once we find the slope. But if you think about it, both are one and the same. Don't you think so? Correct? So these are the first type. In the next video, we'll look into the other 3 types of different forms of the line.